Power Festival, which right now the weather's looking pretty good for. Now, if it was to be this afternoon or tomorrow, not so much, but weather looks like it's going to be partly sunny and a bit on the cool side, but not too bad. Mid-60s on Saturday. Abner Perney's here, and the
when I heard
Festival.
pedal, I thought it was a flower deal. It's pedal, like
Pedal,
P-E-D-A-L.
not okay.
Yeah, and
Pedal
you
power.
pedal your bicycles, and it's going to be over at Oakdale Elementary, and things got to go from 10 to 3. Abner, thanks for coming in, and there are a lot of things about bikes we're going to learn about this Saturday.
We hope so, and this is actually the 4th Pedal Power Festival. The first 3 were pretty small little events we held in warehouses on 4th Street in the past few years, and they haven't even been annual. This all comes out of really our informal Saturday morning bike rides we started about 10 years ago. Jerry Brown was our leader on that, and he and his wife are the leaders on this Pedal Power Festival.
Well, what's the design? What's the mission of the event itself? What's your goal?
The real mission is to try to get more young people, kids in school, interested in bicycling to and from wherever they need to go, rather than jumping in a car and being chauffeured around. Back like things were in the 50s and 60s and 70s. Jerry Brown likes to say that when he was teaching school at South Junior High in the 60s, they had 220 to 250 bicycles parked there every school day.
Well, and the sad part is the kids are on their tablets and they're not exercising and they're not helping their lungs and their health. My wife and I lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we used to ride our 10-speed jetons from Minneapolis to St. Paul, and that was a pretty good jaunt. That's back and forth. But everybody was riding their bicycles. So,
yeah, and a lot of cities, and that's one of the big ones. Minneapolis, St. Paul is one of the lead cities on the resurgence of bicycling in America for commuting. I know a guy that went to high school here that commutes every day, year-round, by bicycle in Minneapolis.
Well, and you talk about pedal power. My grandson in Shawnee, we took him up to where he goes to school, which has a huge parking lot, and I was trying to tell him, now don't look down in front of you. Look, you know, way in front of you where you're going. And he goes, Grandpa, I can't. I said, so I stood down at the end. I said, look at my hands. And he was probably 100 yards away, and I would point left, but I said, don't look down. Well, there's certain things in pedal power and learning how to ride safety. And then I said, now, if you're about ready to go down because you're going too slow, believe it or not, speed is your ally.
Right.
It will pick you right back up. There's a lot of little tricks that people can learn from riding bicycles, but you have to have somebody that knows what they're doing to teach it, too.
It's science, it's physics, it's trick stuff. You mentioned this bike safety. There will be a bike safety rodeo that is conducted by the police department. This year, this is much bigger than we ever had before. We're sponsored by the city. We have participation of the police department. We're sponsored by the school district. That's why we have it at Oakdale School. And the building's going to be open for restrooms, but the main thing that's going to be interesting in the building, whether you're very interested in riding or not, there's going to be some cool exhibits, and vintage bicycle and unusual bicycles will be displayed in the new storm shelter gym at that school, and we're going to have some cool stuff there. We've got a gentleman in town, people may know, Bob Thoman. He has one of the few bicycles that was actually manufactured in Salina, Kansas in the 1890s, and it's still in like brand new condition. Except for the tires. It still has 120-year-old tires on it.
But is this a manufacturing company or just something that he made on his own?
It was an actual manufacturing company, and strangely enough, the man moved to Portland, which is a current bicycling headquarters or popular area, and bicycle manufacturers, a lot of small bicycle manufacturers. So he'll have that bicycle there, and he'll have one that was only 11 of them were made in the 1890s in St. Louis. It's all aluminum. It's just a gorgeous piece of art.
And that's this weekend.
That's this Saturday, Pedal Power Festival, starting on the grounds.
People are invited to bring their bikes.
People are encouraged to bring bikes. The first 100 kids through that need helmets can have a helmet for free. We got a donor that paid for those helmets, along with the city's program where you can buy bicycle helmets for only $10. So we got 100 helmets donated. and those will be given away, starting
Wow.
at 10 a.m., and we hope to wrap things up about 3 o'clock. The other thing we have is free lunch, very similar to the 4th of July Play Day in the Park lunch, also put on by Bill Ficus, the same as Play Day in the Park is done.
Now, Randy, did you know when you're about ready to fall down because you're going too slow, speed is your ally?
No, I just fell down a lot when I first started riding a bike, and
That's true in motorcycles too. If you're
Right.
about ready to go down, you're better off giving it torque and your motorcycle will pop right back up.
As long as you have some place to go in front of you.
Well, yeah, and
there's the problem.
But I bring this up and I have a smile on my face because it was just 2 weeks ago that I was spending time with my grandson on this look where you're headed, not look down. And I don't know if you're gonna have little things that they go in and out, or you know, what are the, not
There-
obstacle courses, but
There's
this is gonna be part of the training
Well,
process
there's,
for the kids.
there is the Bike Safety Rodeo Training Grounds, which is on pavement and which will be conducted by the police department. Then there's also a cyclocross course put up by Bike Tech and a bunch of cyclocross enthusiasts. This cyclocross course is kind of like what used to be called bike motocross. It's kind of a variation of that. BMX is what they used to be called. But any rate, it's an obstacle course on dirt, some jumps, some hills, that sort of thing. They're going to build a temporary course. They expect that the average kid that's never done it before probably take 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes to get through the course. Then at 1 o'clock, they're going to have a demonstration by guys that are probably in their 20s, that are regular cyclocross riders. They expect to build this course so that they can run it in 90 seconds and
wow.
show you how to do rough ground fast.